JDev is back at it here to give everyone my very first Walking Dead Season 8 episode reaction video. But before I get into that, it's extremely important if you're not caught up to the point where I am in rewatching or watching The Walking Dead that you take the initiative and pay attention to the episode title, which I'll put in the description for you if that's the case and you find out that you're not caught up. I suggest, and so does everybody else, that you don't watch this video any further to avoid any potential spoilers. This will be The Walking Dead Season 8, Episode number 1. The title of this episode is called Mercy. The 100th episode of The Walking Dead, and this will be my reaction, review, recap of the episode. And of course, I've seen the episode a few times. I'm reviewing it to have it on my channel, and I'm reviewing it due to the fact that they announced that Season 11 of The Walking Dead is going to be the final season of the main Walking Dead show. A coalition of people from Alexandria, the Hilltop, and the Kingdom prepare for war in alliance to fight the Saviors. Rick, Maggie, and King Ezekiel lead the respective communities in an assault on the sanctuary. Meanwhile, Carol, Morgan, Tara, and Daryl lead a large horde of walkers towards the sanctuary via controlled distractions. And then other things throughout the episode, it cuts to 4 different scenes, but they are not established when they occur relative to the present events. In one, Rick and Carl are scavenging for gas when they encounter who we know as Sadiq. Rambling to himself, begging for food. Carl tries to approach him carefully, but Rick fires a warning shot, scaring Sadiq off. And then Carl scolds Rick, but Rick insists the man could have been a spy for Negan and the Saviors. And then later on, Carl does return to the gas station where he was kind of hiding out and leaves some food for Sadiq, while Sadiq watches him from a nearby bush. And then a second scene has Rick alone crying to himself against a tree in a forest in the light reflected through a stained glass piece, muttering, my mercy prevails over my wrath. And then a third scene has him mourning over 2 grave sites at the hilltop. In the final scene, an older gray-haired and bearded Rick wakes up in bed with a cane, walks to the living space, and happily greets Carl, Michonne, and older Judith, who leads him outside to a festival at Alexandria. And then, aside from all that, shortly after Rick's convoy arrives at the sanctuary and simultaneously fires warning shots, Negan steps out with his lieutenants, Dwight, Simon, Gavin, Regina, and Eugene. After being taunted by Negan, Rick tells the lieutenants that he will let them live if they surrender, but reminds Negan that he's going to kill him for the 3rd time. After none of the lieutenants accept Rick's offer, Negan tells Rick that he lacks the numbers to win a fight against the Saviors and instructs Gregory, the leader of the Hilltop, to come out. Subsequently, Gregory steps out and asserts that the Hilltop stands with Negan, and the punishment to any Hilltop resident for fighting against the sanctuary is banishment for the offenders and their families. And then Jesus, speaking for all the Hilltop soldiers, says and shouts out that the Hilltop stands with Maggie, refuting Gregory's power. Infuriated, Simon, after deciding he's no longer useful, aggressively pushes Gregory down a set of steps, which was kind of funny. And then on the road, a Savior caravan unintentionally activates a tripwire that sets off an explosion, which is heard at the sanctuary. Rick tells Negan's lieutenants to make up their minds, but he doesn't respond. And then Rick starts a countdown, but it ends early, firing at the walls and the windows of the sanctuary, creating noise to draw the incoming walkers. Negan runs off as his lieutenants run back inside for cover. In the midst of all the mayhem, Rick's fighters continue to spray bullets at the sanctuary, but eventually retreat to their cars for evacuation. And with the signals that sent by Carol's group, Father Gabriel positions the RV rigged with explosives in front of the sanctuary fence and exits as it continues slowly moving towards the sanctuary. And there, Rick uses a garage door opener to detonate the explosives, successfully breaching the gate. And then limping, Negan takes cover behind a sheet of metal as Rick, intent on killing Negan, continues firing at him, but Gabriel urges Rick to evacuate as well, reminding him of the plan. Before he goes, Rick uses an instant camera to snap a picture of Negan at the scene as the herd closes in on the sanctuary. And then Gabriel, after Rick left, sees a wounded Gregory and is compelled to help him. I don't know why. Pulls him to shelter, and then Gregory panics and actually takes off, driving away in the car that Gabriel was going to utilize. And with no other way out and surrounded by walkers, Father Gabriel finds shelter in a box trailer, but Negan is actually inside there too. And that's how the episode ends. So this was the 100th episode of The Walking Dead. It was good, but it could have been a lot greater. There's some scenes or some things that happen in the very next episode that I would have preferred to happen in this episode as well to make this episode even more memorable. And we'll talk about that once I react to the next episode. As far as the score of the episode, I'll give it an 8.5 out of 10. It was highly entertaining, but they could have done a lot more with it. As far as the character of the episode, it could have went to Rick. Could have even went to Carl, but I'm going to give it to Father Gabriel because Father Gabriel is like stepping up majorly. Ever since season 6, Father Gabriel has been like a badass, and this just shows how badass he is, except for the fact that he wanted to save Gregory. I don't know why. Gregory's a stooge, but it is what it is. So 8.5 out of 10. Father Gabriel is the character of the episode, so you've heard what I have to say. Now it's your turn. So if you're a fan of The Walking Dead and you like The Walking Dead show, you like this episode from season 8, Mercy, the premiere of season 8, go ahead and smash that like button, or just hit the like button no matter what. If you're a fan of The Walking Dead, that's what it's for. If you know anybody else that would be interested in this, share it with them. Don't forget to leave me a comment with your thoughts on the episode, your character of the episode, your score of the episode, or if you just want to, or both, you can just talk about your favorite Walking Dead characters and favorite episodes. It's up to you what you want to do. I assume everybody that's listening to this has actually seen the show anyway, so it doesn't matter. And then, of course, last but certainly not least, don't forget to hit that sub button, subscribe to the channel, join the team, show your damn support, and be a part of something special. And JDev will return.